Y'all, what's up, y'all? I just cannot believe that this is where everything starts from, like reading numbers. This is how you got all the people of the church. Like, you got your, the pastor, you got the deacons, you got the ushers, all the people who, they have a role. This is from the book, bruh. This is from the book. Mind you, any pastor, well, we're going to get deeper into it to see. But most pastors and all the I don't know what they call it, but the top people in the church, now I wouldn't say the members of the church, because the members is technically like the congregation, but I'm talking about like the people who be there before y'all even get there, like the ushers, like they escort you to your seat and bring around the offering thing, and and all the people that work underneath the pastor to assist him. This is what this is about. Like, I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, come on now. Come on now. This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't believe this. Like, everything starts from this book. That's why you got levels to the people, because this is how God assigned it to be. Now, because I don't know, because I ain't grow up in like a church per se. I've been to church, several times. It was funny, like I told y'all the other day, me and the lady was talking about, church or whatever, like talking about this type of stuff. And I said, I've been to church. Like, I told her I wasn't raised like on God. Like, I wasn't taught this stuff. It was through my toxic relationships that led me to God. And I said the only time we really used to go to church was on like the holidays. She was like, oh, we call y'all, she said, we call people like y'all seeing me. I'm like, what's seeing me? She was like, Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. Because we literally only used to go to church on like, not even every New Year, but like some New Year's we would go. On Easter, we definitely went to church so I could have on my cute little church dress. And that was when I was a kid, when I used to go into that little children's area. I'm never gonna forget, because when we would go to that church, the Believers Worship Center, I think was it in Forestville? I don't remember where it was, but that's the only church I ever remember. And I only remember because I used to go in that kids area to how they got the kids section, the kids church or whatever. And really, we should just be in there doing activities and stuff. And one thing about it, my mama always went to church late. Even when I was older and we went to church a couple times, she gonna go there late. Like, she do everything late. I love my mom. Like, I feel, I'm disappointed in her, yes, but she's human. I'm not really like mad at her. It's just, she funny though, and I still do love my mom. I do love her. I just don't want to deal with her right now. Like, I don't want nobody that's going to get in the way of my mission and try to, be sneak dissing me and all of that, because I'm on this journey and stuff like that. But I still love her, and I be praying for my mom still. Like, I want the best for her. I always have prayed for protection of her, because I was always like that daughter mother. Like, I'm more responsible, I feel like. And she gonna go to work and stuff, but it's like when it comes to like locking up the house, or her locking her keys in the door, like leaving her keys outside in the door and then going in the house, and somebody could come in, or her leaving the window up down in the kitchen where somebody could easily just crawl through the window, or leaving the back door open, or leaving the garage door open. So I pray for her with stuff like that, because I know she move too fast and she do stuff like that. So I always just like pray over her, because I know she just be all over the place and stuff. But I don't even know how I just started talking about her, but yeah, that's why I really don't know everything about the church. And then of course when I went down the country for that summer, because my great grandma, she lived by the church. She top member at the church with her church outfits. Like she be having the flash church outfits. And my cousin Cameron down the country, he played the keyboard for the church. He liked that on the keyboards. You know, so that's, I do know about church because my family down there, they're into church like that. Like my mom and my grandma isn't, but my great grandmother is, and some of them other family members down the country, they are into like the church. So when I had to go, my mom made me stay down there that summer. That's probably why I've never went back, because she forced me to stay down there for that whole time. I like a whole month out the summer one time, and I was heated about that. I'm never gonna forget, because I had a calendar in my Aunt Alice in her room, because I kind of like stayed in that. I kept my stuff in her room, and I had like this little closet thing that I kept my stuff in. And I'm never gonna forget, I had a calendar in there marking off the days till it was time for me to go home. I was like, you know, it wasn't bad being done. It was just country. It's different living there than living in like city life. Like it's boring there. Super freaking boring in country. That's why the only time I used to like to go down the country is when me and my cousins all went down there together. Like, and we still didn't like it, but we used to just be outside walking the back roads, doing shit. Like, we some city kids. Like, this country shit, get somebody else to do it. Even like now, like, I don't want to just be on the country. That's why I like it. I want to be out the way, but still close enough to get, you know. That's why I like it in Houston, because I like how you can be like 15 minutes, 20 minutes from there, and then still out to like to get into like the city if you need to do stuff in the city, and then you still got your like country part that's like right off the, yeah. So I definitely know I'm gonna end up moving back to Houston. But sure, I don't know exactly when. Well, I do know when, because God said it in his dang on Bible. After the land is desolate, when this stuff happened to the world, and then people gonna be fleeing from out there, leaving all their stuff behind, and I'm gonna go buy up their land down there, and that's when I'll be coming back. So I'll be back. I'll be back to Houston once the land is desolate, like it said somewhere in this Bible when I was reading it months ago. That's when you'll be able to return, when the land is desolate. We'll see this part about true riches. I told y'all. All this stuff, everything is stems from the Bible. Like, that's why it's crazy. Like, they literally get everything from this book. If anybody ever say, like, and I used to question if this book was real. Of course it's real. This is where everything starts from. But anyways, y'all, let me finish reading, because this baby, she about to wake up in a second. So let me finish reading so I can keep on piecing everything together. But I'm really thinking, I don't know, I'm gonna see as I keep reading. But I know, because God ordained the Levites to be the leaders over the children of Israel, the Levites must have been the ones that then went to go start worshiping other gods. Because well, we'll see. I'm gonna keep reading, because the Levites are the one who's preaching this or leaving stuff out that the children of Israel need to know. Like, majority of the people who have grew up in the church, they've been taught only the not the right things. And because who's teaching it to whom? Who are their leaders? The pastors and them. And that's why we're going to see. But now that I'm piecing this together, you know, and I'm like doing it, because I got to, you know, draw all the stuff out. And then this is like just everything. It explains why the Levites are the reason why so many of the children of Israel have been led astray from the church, because we obviously are doing something wrong as the Levites. We obviously was doing something wrong. We obviously have went to go start trying to adapt other people's practices instead of following what God told us to do as the leaders. And then now we're leading our lost sheep astray. We're supposed to be coaching them and teaching them the right way of God. But we're up there adapting other gods, bowing them. We're following other practices. And then we're teaching it to our people, our members, our sanctuary, our congregation, our community. We're teaching the wrong things to our community. We're not being the stand-up people that we're supposed to be as the leaders. And that's why our lost sheep has went astray. Every person I talk to, like I was telling you, I was talking to a lady the other day. Every person, it's not just her. Every person I know that grew up in the church and had real religious families. Like, my mom wasn't religious, and her mom wasn't like religious, but my great grandmother, she's the religious one. Because she still, even at this age, before she passed, obviously, she always badgered my mom about where her husband is. She already had a husband. Why she got to have another one? Like, just because you didn't marry numerous times don't mean she want to do that. Because really, you're not supposed to do that. If you want to be technical, and this is what I'm saying, they're teaching the wrong stuff. That's adultery. Once you leave your husband, you're not supposed to get married to nobody else. That's what the Lord says. Let me go to it for y'all. Hold on. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Which page is 1 Corinthians? Like, don't play with me. Because they didn't took on 452. Here we go, right here. Chapter 7. It says, this is chapter 7, verse 10. And to the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. So we know chapter 7 is Paul discussing marriage. But this is Paul saying, to the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Meaning not me. What I'm telling you guys is not me, but the Lord's teaching. The Lord's command. Yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. But, and if she departs, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. So now this is verse 12. He's saying, but to the rest speak I, meaning this is what I believe, my teaching. But to the rest speak I, not the Lord. If any brother has a wife that believes not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which has a husband that does not believe, and if he please to dwell with her, let her not leave him. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now they are holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God has called us to peace. For what knowest you, your wife, whether you should save your husband, or you know a man, whether you should save your wife? A lot of 1 Corinthians, this is Paul's teaching. That only the one part here, which is verse 10 and 11. Verse 10 and 11 is the only part that is the Lord's teaching, not Paul's. Paul's saying all the rest of this stuff. Even when it says reasons for marrying or remaining single, that's Paul's teaching. Then in 2 Corinthians, it talks about the Lord saying that two cannot be unequally yoked. But just in 1 Corinthians, Paul was telling the folks that it's basically okay to be unequally yoked, because just because you're saved and you're a believer means that your spouse is automatically going to be a believer, and that your believingness in the Lord is enough to sanctify the whole family, and that is untrue. That's why there's so much strife. That's why so many women complain. Oh, I believe in the Lord, like, and my husband don't, and he hates that. Like that woman was saying in them comments that day under Mark video, and then some dummy gonna go and put that 1 Corinthians verse in there. I'm like, this is why you gotta be careful who you listen to. People who don't even have great comprehension skills, because when you can comprehend, like, I mean, when you can comprehend, you see who is saying what. And it don't even always, it's just about common sense. But people just be blowing me with this stuff. Like, they be putting this Bible scripture stuff to put it in their best, like, for what they want it to say, like, versus what it actually says. You don't get to decipher in a way that you see fit, that make it fit your liking and fit your narrative. You got to say it for what it is. Because technically, like I was saying, that's why I went to that. You're not supposed to get married again. That is adultery. He said, once you leave your husband, you're to remain unmarried. You're not to go get married again. And this is why oftentimes when people go get married the second time, third time, you're going to get a divorce, because you ain't supposed to do that anyway. It's abomination to the Lord. You ain't supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay single. And this is why people just need to allow God to bring you into union with somebody. When you got all these red flags, and you still take your little butt, happy-go-lucky, running down the aisle to marry this person that you know you unequally yoked with. That's why so many women, I swear, that lady I was talking to the other day, my mama, and so many other women that I see in these comments out here, I knew I shouldn't have married him. So why did you do it? Because of society. And it's not like to come down on the women, because we're so worried about what society is going to say. F society. Society not the one that's living your life. You're living it. You're the one going to have to answer to God, not them. Well, they're going to have to answer to God too. But do you want the punishment that they're going to get because you're going against what God told us to do? You don't want that. It's no way that two people that are unequally yoked, it's no way I can be a believer and my husband is not a believer and we gonna work out. Look at the LaTruth. She said, Miss LaTruth said that when she got with him, he looked at her funny and stuff when she speak in tongues, when she doing all this praying, when she believes in God, and he up there countering her, making her feel weird, making her feel stupid because she believes in a sky daddy, like they call it, and that she does these things, and that he make her feel weird. So now she don't even feel comfortable doing that. She said she stopped going to church and all of this stuff. He took her away from God because he's an unbeliever. So how on earth can you say that two people who are on different sides of the fence are going to come together? That's like oil and water. It's not going to mix. It's not going to mix. You cannot have a belief. Now, if you're pouring into this person and they end up becoming this believer, that's a different story. But some people are so set in their ways, especially when the devil is using them. They're allowing the devil to use them and possess them and live in them. When they're doing that, there's no way in the world. There's no way in the world that you're going to get that person to see God like you see him. That's why you just got to be like, look, I got to check the dues. And so many women be worshiping their men more than they worship God. Some men worship their wife more than they worship God. You putting these fleshly made people on these pedestals where you're supposed to put God first, then everybody else. And if the chain of command, if your husband is supposed to be the leader of the household and he's not going to God, he's not taking stuff to God, that's an abomination to the Lord, and you're following him. So now you're going out of suit too, because you're following that. I don't even know how I got on this, because people really got it messed up. And because that's why I got to it, because my grandma used to try to say that about my mom. Like, she's doing what she's supposed to do, because she got she divorced and she ain't been married again, and she don't want to get married again, because she can't get legally. She ain't supposed to get married again when it comes to what God has ordered for us. So she's doing the right thing. You did the wrong thing, marrying, having multiple husbands. That's the wrong thing to do. You don't get to have multiple husbands. And that's why 9 times out of 10, them second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th marriages don't work. At this point, a lot of times you're forcing it to work, because that is your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th marriage. You're forcing it. You're forcing it. In no way in the world should you marry somebody or be with a person, period, that you're unequally yoked. They're either going to pull you down, or you're going to be pulling them up, and then still feel like you're being pulled down, because they're draining you. It's a drain when you're trying to pull somebody up, and if they don't have the willpower to want to come up on their own, that's more weight that you're pulling. Just think of if somebody... Just think if somebody is... You're on the edge, and you're trying to pull somebody, you're hanging off the cliff, and they're relying on you to pull them up. You got to use all your strength to pull them up. In the process, you possibly could fall down because of all the weight. You can fall down. You trying to pull them up, and they end up pulling your butt down. Like, you can't be trying to pull somebody up that ain't even trying to climb up themselves. They ain't trying to help you. It's a bunch of dead weight you're trying to pull up. That's a heavy dead weight you're trying to pull up. Then it gets to the point it's much easier for them to just, come on, let me pull you down, fall down with me. Like, no, it's never cool to be unequally yoked with somebody. That's why you be feeling depleted, drained, losing yourself. Look at a lot of these people out here. Look at a lot of women. You could tell the type of marriage or relationship that a woman is in by how she look. You can tell. It be all on her face, her hair. It's all in the weight. It's all, you can see it. The stress. You can see an unhappy woman. That's one thing about it. You can always tell an unhappy woman. It don't matter what she try to do to put these facades on. You can see it. They be mean as hell. Ain't no woman that's getting love properly mean as hell. That's just not how it is. I even saw that with my own mom. When she used to yell a lot. She used to yell all the time. You know, when she had that damn bum ass husband. The moment she let his ass go, she started becoming nicer over time. Not yelling as much. Because they be angry at them, and they got to take it out on everybody else. Just like some of these women that be up in these top positions I know in state of Maryland. They be some mean women up there at the state of Maryland. You call, try and get some, what was the place I was calling for my business? State Secretary of State. Them mean ass ladies. Like, ma'am, I ain't do it to you. That's your man. And if you take that attitude out with him, don't take it out on me, because I ain't do nothing to you. I ain't doing nothing with you. I ain't having no sex with you. I ain't doing none of that stuff with you. I ain't the one cheating on you. I ain't the one beating on you. I ain't the one that's not loving you properly. I ain't the one that's using you, taking your car, taking it on a joyride while you at home sleep or while you at work. That ain't me doing it. That's him. Take that energy out with him. Don't take it out on me. Leave that behind. This is work. But I just wanted to, I don't even know how I got on this, but yeah, y'all, that's all I want to say, because I wasn't even supposed to just even say all of this. But, and that's why I know this with me, like, I can't, when I started feeling like this person is making me, I'm not happy around this person, and this person throws off my energy. And one thing about it is when your energy is thrown off in a household, especially when you have children, your children gonna feel it. Your children gonna feel it because you're irritated with this nigga. So you're gonna be irritated with the whole dang on house. Like they say, happy wife, happy life. When the wife ain't happy, when the women of the house ain't happy, the whole house gonna feel it. The whole house gonna feel it. Because now she irritated with you and your kids and everything. So, ain't that right, Sticky? Ain't that right, Sticky? My kids don't feel that. Because they don't got to deal with none of that. I ain't walking on no eggshells around their body because I don't have to do that. That's why I leave these niggas. See ya. See ya. Get your kid. But you ain't got to deal with me. I'm not living with you, walking on eggshells with you. I'm not living with you, and I'm not going to sit around and see your raggedy ass face looking stupid like that and bothering me. You throwing our energy off. I don't want to see that. I used to hate to see my first BD just sitting around looking dumb. Like, fix your face, nigga. Don't nobody want to sit around seeing you moping. I don't want to look at that shit. Get on. Anyhow, I'm going to make me something to eat. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.